Hi there, Cosmic Family. My name is Yahya in this incarnation. Mercury today is in its direct motion. Mercury is the planet related to the communication, the exchange of information, our mental processes. And I wanted to remind you that it is not until December 1st that it is going to move from mathematical degree. And it is from that moment where you could feel greater clarity regarding everything that implied the revision from November 9th till this point, and the communication can flow better. It is a good moment for beginnings or closures that we have very, very processed. Also, I wanted to mention that until December 17th, Mercury is going to be in the period of post retrograde shadow. This means that it is going to circulate through the mathematical degrees, through it passed before two times. The first one was direct, then in the retrogradation, and right now in its final course. So this means that this period, in this period, people could retake conversations or projects that perhaps were in this review or were stopped, so they can move forward. Decisions are established, or we end up assimilating in a mental and emotionally way a process, because we are talking about a Mercury that is in a sign of water, but with these new perspectives that we have integrated before. From this moment, it will also repeat several contacts with other planets that I'm going to mention while we are approaching them, and in different ways they mean phases of conclusion. So at night, the moon is going to enter, at least in the time of Argentina. It is going to depend in which place you are. The moon enters in Aries, and this always add dynamism to the experience. We generally higher energy than when the moon is going through Pisces, and because of things that I mentioned in the video of the full moon in Gemini, over the square, on the square of Mars in Sagittarius and Saturn in Pisces, it is also important to regulate the impatience, especially with the things that seem to be a blockage or that could be having delays, to open up ourselves to see a purpose in that. But today I wanted to continue to talk about Venus, because even it is perfecting the tension with Uranus retrograde in Taurus this night. Again, this is going to depend on the place you are. And it is a tension. This means that is leading us to face with things that are causing us discomfort, because a Venus in Scorpio possesses this desire of deepening in relationships, in intense connections with what it wants to create, both in relationships and projects of life. But in the case of relationships, when we talk about this levels of emotional intimacy that we can approach, they demand to do that with oneself. I mean, to have the strength to look at what is being revealed through the mirrors, in every mirror that life could put us, because it is not only about looking ourselves in the mirrors that we would like to. And even if this is not something that is reflecting, parts of us that we see as pleasant, it is important to have the strength to see those parts of ourselves, in order to connect with the desire of transformation for oneself, not for controlling the external situations or other people, because we are the ones that we want to liberate ourselves from the denser and to be reborn. So this opposition could be felt until December 3rd, even if Venus by that moment it is not going to be in Scorpio anymore. But tomorrow, November 30th, before moving out from this sign, it is going to make a trine with Neptune retrograde in Pisces, and this aspect is already active. It is a very nice opportunity of connection with other people, but also with ourselves. People that are related to some form of art, could be a phase of channeling a transformative process into something creative with much inspiration, using emotions, what we are feeling, as this means to create. But even if you are not dedicating yourself to any form of art, this even could be redirecting this inner force into something that we would like to do a lot, that we enjoy a lot, and being able to invest that energy with passion in some project that we feel truly aligned with our heart. regarding relationships, and having in account that we are going through this opposition with Uranus retrograde, could be a moment of much openness for authenticity, of pushing away the masks and express what we truly feel. And if this is really done from this place, I am referring, this is not a try of controlling, manipulating, or making the other to be adjusted to an expectation that we have. And we are doing that in a space where we feel that the other person can be opened to. And a trine like this, in a trine like this, intuition speaks very loud. Therefore, the important thing is to not ignore it, because the energy is already flowing. We are talking about a trine. So if we are doing that from an impulse truly aligned with love as an energy, this could be a contact of great understanding, which is not a mental analysis, is to empathize in other levels that perhaps we didn't do before, comprehending how the other person could be feeling in a very compassive way, so we can enable forgiveness, and that can be mutual, can be very healing for both parties, or the parties that are participating. Both, to close a cycle, as to decide transforming something in a relationship and to continue. And I remind you that I'm not talking only about romantic relationships, could be whatever relationship. And even if it's not a conversation, what I'm trying to say is that many people could be closing a cycle with someone else, but not necessarily they have to talk with them. We can still enable this deep compassion for the imbalances of other people, for our own imbalances, and to understand where they are being born, the root that they are originating them. It is not to justify that. It's accepting the imperfect qualities that we all have, our shadows, so we can transform them. And the pain that we all went through once. The pain that many times generate conditionings, different conditionings in each one of us. And, when that pain, it is not managed, it is not faced, it could also lead us to act in ways that could hurt other people too. So this could be a forgiveness that simply reminds us that the experiences that were painful ones have a transformative purpose. And it is oneself, the one that chooses to extract the light from those situations and letting go of the rest to walk in a lighter way. Well, this trend could also be simply sharing a moment with others, having a moment of quality, of real connection that makes us feel very alive. And then, well, there will be other people that are going through grief, with the opposition with Uranus. Perhaps they are going through a break. And this trine could represent to navigate those emotions, to express them, allowing them to clean us. And to let them go without resistance, even perceiving that relief that comes after we can actually liberate ourselves that way, and to be in peace with what it is, to cultivate acceptance. After that, Venus enters Sagittarius and we start a new beginning. So there we could start to elevate our look. This means Venus in Scorpio focus, and centers a lot the energy in a desire with intensity. But Venus in Sagittarius proposes other kind of amplification in our perception. There is a lot to learn, and it connects us more with the will of going through the path towards those desires, to live that as an adventure without mattering the distances regarding our purposes. But I'm going to expand on that Venus later. I'm going to close this video here. Thank you, everyone. See you in the next one. Ciao, ciao.